Alright, so I am back with another Project 1999 EverQuest walkthrough tutorial video getting started. And I wanted to go over user interface enhancements, which are basically a way to update your UI. Now on the green server, you can use the Vert UI in order to make your stats a little bit more visible. And for that, you can do a Google of Project 1999 user interface enhancements or Project 1999 UI, and you'll get this page here on the Project 1999 wiki, which has basically what you need to get the Vert UI. And down here's the Vert UI. Click on that. You'll get this, and I'm playing on green server, so I'm going to download the box set for the green server here, and I'll go ahead and save that and open those files up. And similar to the way we updated EverQuest, the titanium version, we're going to go back and do the same thing, but we're going to drop this update in a different location. So we're going to go to our Project 1999 folder, and there's a folder in here called UI files. You go in there, and I'm going to create a folder called Vert UI, and in that folder I'm going to dump the zip files. So I'm going to go ahead and paste. Alright, so now we have our files in the Vert UI folder. I'm going to minimize that and go to the EQ window, and I'm going to type in the command \load skin. And here you see Vert UI. That's the folder I created. Click load skin, and it should pop up. Here we go, Vert UI skin. So you see it's kind of a graphical upgrade a little bit, but the thing I like about it is it puts your main inventory here on this side, and it also gives your stats here. So you get your XP stats, your HP stats, your mana stats if you're playing a magic class, and all of that. So gonna kind of situate things here, and I like to put my HP stats or my HP stuff like right here. Put this here in the middle so I can see it like in the middle of the screen while I'm playing, and extend these boxes a little bit. Gonna rename this window to combat, and the window up here, which I did a filter for skills, so anytime I get a skill up, it'll go to this window. So I'll rename this to skill ups. Alright, so I got my monk to level 9, and I did that by following the guide I gave earlier about hunting Knoll Fangs in Kenos Hills. And I also went into the Blackburrow den, and I went into the Blackburrow den in order to get more Knoll Fangs in there. And one of the things that happened was a high level shaman came across me, and he buffed me with a whole bunch of buffs, and I was able to basically run through the dungeon. Not the higher level mobs, but most of the level 9 and below level mobs I was able to kill, pretty much without any trouble. So I was able to get about 22 Knoll Fangs, and at level 9 that filled me up to about 90%. So at this point you're going to want to, once you get about level 9, level 10, you're going to want to be transitioning to West Karana in order to do the bandit sashes. But what I wanted to go over here real quick was your guild master and what you should be spending your training points on as you level up. So for a monk, my recommendation is to train the min skill. And the min skill, which is right here, it has a chance to restore HP. So it will restore some of your lost HP. It will fail. Sometimes it can actually hurt you. So you can like kill yourself if you're on low HP and you hit mend. It can actually make your wounds worse and hurt you. But if I go here, here's our shopkeeper that I get shurikens from to increase my throwing skill. And I usually open up my attacks at this level with a throwing skill, and or just throw a shuriken, and then I open up with, you know, basically attack and melee, and then I follow up with a kick. But if I right click on, okay, he's a guild master, and let him do his walk cycle real quick. Okay, so you can see here you have your training window. For mage classes, pretty much I would save it all for spell research, but that's like later on in the game. You can do sense heading if you want, to make it a little bit easier to get your directions, but for monk I'm gonna go mend because I want to get that up as high as possible so that I can get that healing skill up. So I'm gonna train it as far as I can. Alright, I was able to train it all the way to 29. So that training is complete, and now I can go and check my skills. Let me bring this up here, reset everything that I had set up already. Anyway, see what we got here. Mend is very bad at 29. I was able to get dual wield up to above average and dodge to below average. So I do pretty good in maintaining, you know, with blue mobs, depending on their level, because blue mobs can vary significantly. It could be 1 level below you, or it could be like 4 levels below you. So it's hard to tell just from a blue mob what exactly, what kind of fight you're gonna be involved in. When it says an even fight, that means it's your level. But with the blue, it's a little bit difficult. But for the most part, you should be able to take on 1 to 2 mobs that are blue level at this lower level here. But what I wanted to do was run to No Fang Keep, or Blackburrow. I can't remember the name of the dungeon. Blackburrow Keep, No Fang Keep, whatever it's called, and just show you the kind of cycle that you can go through to level up your character, and also get no fangs that you can turn in from that quest that I mentioned before with Captain Tillin, where you turn in the no fangs, and then you get the moonstones, which you turn into the Jacob McNeil guy, and that will give you XP. So bring my buffs over here. You see these are just some of the buffs I got, and if you look at my stats here, these are way overpowered for this level, those stats. So I could pretty much demolish most of the mobs that come my way. I was actually able, with these stats and also with the health regen that he put on me, I was able to kill yellows. So I, you know, no fang guardians, I was able to kill those, and they were yellow to me, and that gave me significant XP all throughout level 8. So I was basically able to level 8 without even turning in no fangs. I just went through the keep in the outside area. And one thing you'll notice when you get to about level 7 is that the gnolls outside of the keep, the ones here in Keno's Hills, they're going to be turning green. So you won't get any XP from killing them, you'll just get the no fangs. So you're just hunting them for no fangs only. And the number of the gnolls inside the keep as well will be the same. You're just killing everything trying to get no fangs to turn in. And I recommend pretty much at level 10, it's pretty much done for as far as no fangs go. And so I'll be back shortly, and just gonna skip ahead a little bit, and we're gonna be in the keep. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, so here I am outside the entrance to No Fang Keep, or Blackburrow Keep, whatever it's called. And we're basically just gonna go first person and run in here. There may be a gnoll at the entrance, but we can just kill him. Right, there he is. Just gonna range attack back up a little bit, because sometimes he likes to run to the entrance. You don't want that, because you'll basically won't be able to loot him. So we're just gonna kill him real quick. And if I consider him, you'll see he's green. At level 9, mostly everything outside of the dungeon is green, but you still can get no fangs, which are still, you won't get much XP at level 9 when you turn those in, but you'll get enough to make it worthwhile. So loot him. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and head towards the entrance here. Here's the entrance. So we're going to load in. And you have to be very careful in dungeons. This dungeon in particular has a huge hole in the middle as soon as you enter, and I'll show you that. And you do not want to fall down that hole. It's the last thing you want to do. So you'll see here it's nighttime, and I'm a human, so I don't have ultra vision, so it's harder to see. But if I come to the edge here, you'll see this huge hole that goes down. You do not want to fall into that hole. It's like a worst case scenario. You will probably have to get someone to drag your corpse out, and there's usually not many people. So we have a level 10 Necro, we have an anonymous Aerodin, and myself. So there's 3 people in here, and none of them can pull my corpse out. So unless the anonymous guy is like high powered or something. But yeah, definitely don't want to fall down that hole. So you do, as I recommend it, you just kill. So the first thing you're gonna want to do when you enter the dungeon, actually I should talk about training. So here's the entrance to the dungeon. There's another entrance on the other side that leads to Halas, or Everfrost Peaks, where the barbarians start at. But most people will train to this entrance, and what I mean by training is that they'll get a bunch of mobs on them and that they can't kill, so they run for the entrance to so they won't die. And if you're up here just chilling out, they can run the mobs right into you and kill you. So you don't want to be AFK when you're in any of the dungeons. You want to make sure you get out of the dungeon into a safe spot before you go AFK. So that's what a train is basically a bunch of mobs chasing someone all the way to the entrance. Some people will shout in the out of combat chat, they'll shout train, so they'll let everyone know that a train is coming. But sometimes they won't. They'll just run a train right into you, and you can get killed that way. So what I normally do is start coming out the dungeon, come out here, and I go left, and I go around this area, and I go up here. There's a little cliff here, and on top of that cliff is a knoll. Just gonna consider him. So he's blue, so he'll give XP. Just gonna open up with a range attack, then start with melee, do a kick, and just repeat the cycle of melee kick, and you just let it go. And you can usually tell how hard it's gonna be by your damage based on how much you're taking, and I'm doing a lot of damage compared to how I have 90%, he has 58, so it should be a relatively easy fight. Stunned me twice. These knolls can stun you, but it's only for like 2 seconds, but it'll interrupt your kick cycle when you're using melee and kick. Come on. And they love to run away from you. And sometimes, because EverQuest is based on dice rolls when it comes to hitting, you will miss your hits a lot due to that. It's sort of like Daggerfall in that regard. So the more agility you have, the more likely you are to hit. And there's a couple other modifiers in there that relate to that, but even at high levels you will miss attacks, because that's just the way the game was designed. It was designed to make every swing impactful. So when you hit, when you were in melee combat, you hit, you feel the combat, like you feel the hit, you feel the miss. The miss really is like, oh man, I missed. You know, like it really makes you feel that miss if you miss an attack. Alright, so you walk up this side, or the west, I guess, come in from the entrance to the other side. This is the path to Halas. or in Everfrost Peaks. You can look in these little coves. Sometimes there'll be gnolls in there. Looks like someone came in and already killed the gnolls. And that's one other thing. So that's the route to Everfrost Peaks right there. But anyway, one thing you'll notice when other people are in the zone is that they have already killed the mobs. I believe the mobs in this dungeon are set to a 22-minute timer. So you have to wait 22 minutes before everything repopulates. So that's one of the more unfortunate things about the dungeon here. There's usually is that the retimer is 22 minutes by 6 minutes on the outside in Keno's Hills. So here you'll notice there's nothing here, but there normally are 2 low-level gnolls here. You can dispatch those pretty easily. I'm going to come down, or actually I should better explain how I got here. So there's 2 paths here when you're coming out, when you're coming around a corner from the entrance to Everfrost Peaks. So entrance to Everfrost Peaks is here. You're going to come here. There's something here on the left. Actually, no, it's the same entrance. My bad. So it's basically just a big rock here in the way. But anyway, there's this one entrance here. And that's the one you go into that leads you down into the first part of the dungeon. So we're going to go down into the dungeon. And if there are mobs missing that people have already killed, I'll let you know where they populate at. Alright, so you see Noel's corpse here. Obviously, that's a spot where a Noel will pop at. There's one right here. This is where Noel would populate at. There's a bridge. If you keep going straight, there's usually a Noel there. Sometimes there's a Noel walking along this path here. But we can select the Noel and do a quick consider. We have blue, so we should be good. At level 9, any gnolls, at level 8 or level 9, any gnolls in this area of the dungeon should be blue. But if you come across any yellows, don't get engaged. Stay away unless you're buffed out. But I have lost all my buffs, so I am back to ground zero. All my buffs have expired. But even standard, no buffs, I'm still, doing significant enough damage to solo these gnolls. So there's the pathy gnoll I was talking about. He's probably gonna join in here. Here he comes to join in. Shouldn't be a problem. You see there. No, they didn't stun. Yeah, they did stun me. So every now and then you will get stunned. Not a big deal. And you'll notice if there's 2 gnolls on you at the same time, the first gnoll you're fighting will not run away since they have a buddy with them. And that's a good thing, so you don't have to worry about chasing one gnoll while the other one's running away. But I have noticed a couple of times where the gnoll actually did run away even though there's 2 of them on you. At this level you probably wouldn't want to take on more than 2 at a time. If you get grouped up by 3 or more, you should probably train to entrance or run to the entrance and try strafe running to keep. It's hard to strafe run in a dungeon, but you can try it in order to keep yourself from getting killed or getting hit too many times. You can get stunned in the back, and you gotta wait until you can roll again. So let's try our mend, see what happens. We hit mend and it just says failed. So it can fail, it can heal your wounds, and it can also hurt you. And hurting is obviously the worst outcome. So normally there is a normal, a scrawny gnoll up here that you could kill. You see by gnoll corpses here, someone's been farming down here. But normally there'll be 1 gnoll here, 1 gnoll here, 1 gnoll here, 1 gnoll here. So you got to be careful because there'll be 4 gnolls here in this little area. You got to be careful that you don't get yourself wiped out. But looks like, oh, there he is. There's a necro. So here's our necro guy. He's leveling. He's a little bit higher level than me, so I can hail him. I'm not going to group right now because I'm just doing a tutorial. But if you see this cleared out right here, there's another route you can take. So if we go this way, here's another Noah you can kill at that area. And one part where you got to be careful here, I'm probably going to rest for a little while, let my HP come up a little bit, but when you open this door up here, there's two Noahs there waiting for you. I could see their icons kind of flashing through. And sometimes they can be level blue, below level 9 or 8, but they are powerful enough to kill you if you're not careful. Or if you're just unlucky, because sometimes, just based on the way EverQuest works with dice rolls, you can be unlucky and just not hit as much as you need to wipe them out before they wipe you out. So it's kind of a little bit cheesy that way, but that's, you know, it's based on D&D dice rolls, and more often than not, though, you won't get that type of treatment where you basically get very unlucky, but it can happen sometimes. And one thing about EverQuest is it takes forever to heal. It's just a part of the experience. I think it was designed that way to slow progression, and also it was designed as a group game. So at the time, it was almost like a chat room. So people would chat, because this was a whole new thing. You know, internet game playing with other people was like a whole new thing at the time that blew everybody's minds. So just being able to chat with people on the internet while playing a game was insane, you know. So while you're resting, people would have conversations, you know, and talk about things going on and just, you know, joking around or stuff like that. So that's why the resting takes so long. But if you're in a group and you get heals, you know, you got a healer, you know, it cycles a lot faster. That's one thing about groups that make it better, is you have a healer that you could cycle. Even if you have only damage dealers, one person could be healing while the others could be in combat. And if a mage or a magic character is getting mana back by meditating or just sitting down, basically, they will say that they're meting. If someone tells you meting, that means that they're basically meditating to get their mana back, and all that is just sitting down, and they'll slowly replenish their mana gauge. And that's when an enchanter, if you play an enchanter, they're very, very valued in a group because they have the clarity spell, which restores MP as you play, and people are addicted to that spell. Okay, so we're at 94. I think we can try this. Alright, so we'll open the door and you see it get attacked on sight. See how we do here. So he's blue. I highly doubt they'll get me down to 0, but you never know. Okay, I'm down to 72. He's down to 34. 65. They're hitting. They're hitting good enough that I'll have to bandage myself after this. So I killed him. Now we go to him. And when the other mob, whenever you kill the mob and the other one starts attacking you, damn, I'm down to 38. He's strong. He's probably one level below me. So what you're gonna want to do is make sure you have your melee attack. You have to press it again whenever you select the second mob. Oh god, please. Please don't kill me. Well, if I do die, I could show you how to do a corpse run, so I guess that's something. Really don't want to do that, though. Okay, I'm running for it. Oh, I'm solo. Okay, I'm gonna die. This is what happens in EQ. Sometimes this will happen, and much you can do about it. But I'm gonna die, and so now I can show you how to do a corpse run. Guess that's all part of the plan. Yeah, it's so soul crushing to have this happen, because you just lost 10% XP. You'll basically be deposited at the entrance where you first spawned at with nothing. So now I'm dead empty, but I got money in the bank, so I can go to the bank, get some money, and equip myself a little bit, just to have enough equipment in order to get through, you know, the first set of nulls. In order to, that's why you always want to have money in the bank, so you can go and buy some stuff, so that way you have a light source, and you'll have the equipment. Don't really need the equipment, but mostly just melee weapons. So because my hand-to-hand is terrible right now. Not sure how good hand-to-hand is with a monk, or if weapons are better. But since I got two-hander, since I do have two-hander efficiency, see how darkness can throw you around. Just in this one little entrance, not being able to see anything at all can kind of throw you off. But anyway, I'm gonna go to the bank and get my self some money and buy some melee weapons and grind a fire beetle eye so I have a light source, and then I'll be back. Hey, I'm back again. Actually, I think what I'll do is end the video here, and then on the next video I'll show you how to do a corpse run. So that way I don't have to make the video longer than it needs to be, since it was just a tutorial of the dungeon there, the no keep dungeon. So I will go ahead and end the video here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it taught you something. And yeah, have a good one, guys.